name's Philip Jackson from the Brisbane Tolkien Fellowship. We've all got bits and pieces of stories that we like and all got particular books we like, and my assumption is that you're here because you know Tolkien's works, so I won't go into too much detail. But as I said, there's often you can find books that even someone like myself, I've not read Roverdom and some of the true children's story of Tolkien yet. But today I'm going to be reading from the Children of Hurin, from chapter 10 of Turin in Nargothrond. One of the things I like about Tolkien's works is the hope and in the face of despair and struggling against enormous odds. On the other side of the coin with the Children of Hurin, it's about despair and absolute loss and failure, but in the end they still had the hope to struggle and the fight and to take on the forces of evil. So, and for those who don't know, Turin is an ordinary man, a mortal man, who's basically raised by elves and took on the Dark Lord Morgoth. And even though he failed, he still had hope to succeed. I'm not a very good public speaker, so I'll do the best I can. Because of his prowess and his skill in warfare with orcs, Turin found favour with Alderath and was admitted to his council. Now Turin had no liking for the manner of fighting of the elves in Nargothrond, of ambush and stealth and secret arrow, and he urged them to abandon, and that they should use their strength to attack the servants of the enemy, to open battle in pursuit. But Wildor spoke ever against Turin in this matter in the council of the king, saying that he had been to Angband and had glimpsed the power of Morgoth and had some inklings of his design. Petty victories have proved profitless at the last, he said, for thus Morgoth learns where the boldest of his enemies are to be found, and gathers strength great enough to destroy them. All the might of the elves and Edain united sufficed only to contain him and to gain the peace of the siege, long indeed, but only so long as Morgoth bided his time before he broke the leaguer, and never again can such a union be made. Only in secrecy lies hope of survival until the Valar come. The Valar, said Turin, they have forsaken you, and they hold men in scorn. For what use to look westward across the endless sea to a dying sunset in the west? There is but one Valar with whom we must contend, and that is Morgoth. And if in the end we cannot overcome him, at least we can hurt him and hinder him. For victory is victory, however small, nor is it worth only from what follows from it, but is expedient also. Secrecy is not finally possible. Arms are the only wall against Morgoth. If you do nothing to halt him, all of Beleriand will fall under his shadow before many years are past, and then one by one he will smoke you out of your earths. And what then? A pitiful regiment will fly south and west, to cower on the shores of the sea, caught between Morgoth and Osi. Better then to win a time of glory, though it be short-lived, for the end will be no worse. You speak of secrecy, and say that therein lies the only hope. But even if you could ambush and waylay every scout and spy of Morgoth to the last and least, so that none ever came back with tidings to Angband, yet from then he would learn that you lived, and guess where. And this also I say, though mortal men have little lifespan beside the elves, they would rather spend it in battle than fly or submit. The defiance of Huron Thalion is a great deed, and though Morgoth slay the doer, he cannot make the deed not be had been. Even the lords of the west will honour it, and if it is written in the history of Arda, neither Morgoth nor Manwë can unwrite it. You speak of high things, Gordor answered, and plain it is that you have lived among the elder. But a darkness is on you, set Morgoth and Manwë together, or speak of the valours of foes of elves and men. For the Valar scorn nothing, and least of all the children of Oluvatar. Nor do you know all the hopes of the elder. It is a prophecy among us that one day a messenger from Middle-earth will come through the shadows to Valinor, and Manwë will hear, and Mandos will relent. For that time shall we not attempt to preserve the seed of the Noldor, and of the Edain also. And Círdan dwells now in the south, and there is building ships. For what you know of ships or the sea, you think of yourself and of your own glory, and bid us each to do likewise. But we must think of others besides ourselves, for not all can fight and fall, and those we must keep from war and ruin, while we can. Thank you.
My name's Greg. This is my alter ego with the Brisbane Fellowship. I play a bit walk. You might see this guy walking around a little later on. Now, being
we'll see you walking around later on.
I'd love nothing better to read about the great victories of the Moorian mines, but I've been giving a different page to read. Now, to be honest, and it's a secret shame I have, I've never read Tolkien, Lord of the Rings. My brother has, this is his book, but being involved with the Tolkien Fellowship, I'm getting more insight into the backgrounds of the movies that I love so much with Peter Jackson. And just through this page alone, which is the appendix, a part of the tale of Aragorn and Arwen from the annals of kings and rulers, I found a little history of Aragorn that I never would have picked up in the movies. Okay, so I'd like to read that to you. Okay, Arador was the grandfather of the king. His son Arathorn sought in marriage Gurain, the fair daughter of Darail, who was himself descendant of Aranar. To this marriage Darail was opposed, for Gurain was young and had not reached the age at which the women of the Dudain were accustomed to marry. Moreover, he said, Arathorn is a stern man of full age, and will be chieftain sooner than man looked for. Yet my heart forebodes that he will be short-lived. But Iverwin, his wife, who was also foresighted, answered, the more need of haste. The days are darkening before the storm, and great things are to come. If these two wed now, hope may be born for our people, but if they delay, it will not come while this age lasts. And it happened that when Arathorn and Gurain had been married only 1 year, Arador was taken by the hill trolls in the coldfells north of Rivendell, and was slain. And Arathorn became chieftain of the Dudain. The next year Gurain bore him a son, and he was called Aragorn. But Aragorn was only 2 years old when Arathorn went riding against the orcs with the sons of Elrond, and he was slain by an orc arrow that pierced his eye, and so he proved indeed short-lived for the one of his race, being but 60 years old when he fell. Then Aragorn, being now the heir of Isildur, was taken with his mother to dwell in the house of Elrond. And Elrond took the place of his father and came to love him as a son of his own. But he was called Estel. Estel? That is, hope. And his true name and lineage were kept secret at the bidding of Elrond. For the wise then knew that the enemy was seeking to discover the heir of Isildur, if any remained upon the earth. But when Estel was only 20 years of age, it chanced that he returned to Rivendell after great deeds in the company of the sons of Elrond. And Elrond looked at him and was pleased, for he saw that he was fair and noble, and was early come to manhood, though he could not yet become greater in body and in mind. That day, therefore, Elrond called him by his true name, and told him who he was and whose son, and he delivered to him the heirlooms of his house. Here is the ring of Barahir, he said, the token of our kinship from afar. And here also are the shards of Nazir. With these you may yet do great deeds, for I foretell that the span of your life shall be greater than the measure of men, unless evil befalls you, or you fail at the test. But the test will be hard and long. The scepter of Anuminus I withhold, for you have yet to earn it. So just from that page alone, I learnt how close Aragorn was actually to the house of Elrond. And you never would have picked that up in the movie, would you? So one page just gave me some great insight into the characters. So I suppose that's what Tolkien Day is all about, reading and learning and appreciating the words.
And also I think too, the fact that Elrond called him Estel, which means hope.
Hope, which is the word.
So they recognised him as the hope for the future.
That's right.
Yes.
Well, thank you guys.
Hello everyone, I'm glad to see you all here for Tolkien Day. My name's Yvonne and this is Michael. I shall give him his glasses. I know you all enjoyed Laura's song, The Road Goes Ever On. This is the English version. Roads go ever, ever on, over rock and under tree, by caves where never sun has shone, by streams that never find the sea, over snow by winter sown, and through the merry meadow flowers of June, over grass and over stone, and under mountains in the moon. Roads go ever on, under cloud and under star, Yet feet that wandering have gone turn at last to home afar. Eyes that fire and sword have seen, and horror in the halls of stone, now look at last on meadows green, and trees and hills they long have known. The road goes ever on and on, down from the door where it began. Now far ahead the road has gone, and I must follow if I can, pursuing it with eager feet until it joins some larger way where many paths and errands meet. The road goes ever on and on, down from the door where it began. Now far ahead the road has gone, and I must follow if I can, pursuing it with weary feet until it joins some larger way where many paths and errands meet. And whither then? I cannot say. The road goes ever on and on, out from the door where it began. Now far ahead the road has gone. Let others follow, if they can. Let them a journey new begin. But I, at last, with weary feet, will turn toward the lighted inn, my evening rest, and sleep to meet. This is the Ent and the Ent-wife song. Now you'll have to read the books to find out who the Ents are. There's a lot more to them than was in the movie.
When spring unfolds the beechen leaf and sap is in the bough, when light is in the wildwood stream and the wind is on the brow, when stride is long and breath is deep, keen the mountain air, come back to me, and say my land is fair.
When spring is come in garth and field, and corn is on the blade, when blossom like a shining snow is on the orchard laid, when shower and sun upon the earth with fragrance fill the air, I'll linger here, I will not come, because my land is fair.
When summer lies upon the world, and in a noon of gold, beneath the roof of sleeping leaves, the dreams of trees unfold. When woodland halls are green and cool, and wind is in the west, come back to me, I say my land is best.
When summer warms the hanging fruit and burns the berry brown, when straw is gold and ear is white and harvest comes to town, when honey spills and apples swell, the wind be in the west, I'll linger here beneath the sun, because my land is best.
When winter comes, the winter wild, that hill and wood shall slay, when hills shall fall and starless night devour the sunless day, when wind is in the deadly east and the bitter rain, I'll look for thee, I'll call to thee, I'll come to thee again.
When winter comes and singing ends, when darkness falls at last, when broken is the barrow brow and light and labour past, I'll look for thee and wait for thee until we meet again. Together we will take the road beneath the bitter rain. Together we will take the road that leads into the west, and far away we'll find a land where both our hearts